Welcome again, everyone. Jerry's Old Guy Review. And let me just blame my good buddy Dalton from Dalton's Alaskan RC Adventures. Check out his channel if you haven't. He has just gotten done with the new, the K10 from Rc4wd Drive. So he likes to build his hard bodies. He uses not the Rc4wd Drive chassis. I believe it's the TRX4. He buys a conversion kit to do them. But he motivated me. So I did my third overhaul on my TF2 OG from 2008 kit. So for those of you that watched the video way back a few years ago, so I took it from the Mojave body to the 85 4Runner, and I bought a bunch of goodies for it and redid it. Well, he got me motivated again, so I redid the body again. I did new wheels and tires on it. I upgraded some electronics on it. But it made me think about this guy right here. This is the Rc4wd Drive TF2 Ultimate. Now, these came out a few years ago. I put some decals on it. I did some detailing to it. But it just didn't perform at all. I put it on the shelf. I started doing the conversion where I was going to, here's the interior. The steering wheel and column is way too low. So the conversion kit is to relocate it up here to the top. But I wasn't going to buy it. So I was just going to do it myself. Started doing it, set the screws off to the side, don't know where they went. So, thanks to Dalton, and thanks to, we'll bring the original TF2 out in a moment. Well, not a moment, because I have a lot to show you. This Ultimate, which now you had the rust bucket, which was set up different. And then you have what you currently have now, the K10, which, I haven't bought an Rc4wd Drive since 2019. But I'm really thinking, because what they started to do with detailing on this, they blew it out of the water with the K10. So first, this is the K5 Blazer. It's an 80s-ish. And for what you paid for this vehicle, the things they thought were important, in my opinion, were dead wrong. So the first thing I did for those of us on the channel, 3M rubberized, undercoated, textured, we've got the cap done. So this is going to aesthetically change it. Now, what I'm also doing is taping off this roof piece, because some of them were solid colors, other ones were not. And since, like a dumbass, I put the stickers on and didn't do the white here like I originally wanted to. So I'm thinking of ordering up another sticker kit so I can paint this, which it gives me a good line for where to tape it off to paint it. On the original, these were chrome. They're not going to be chrome, but on this one. But what I did in the teardown was realize where they screwed up. So let's just now that we have the K10 out with the beautiful simulated engine bay, you know, it would have been way cooler than what this ended up. But let's go over here. Pretty nice engine setup. Now, because I've had it apart, these lights aren't right because I actually have the fender liners, but they're out right now. So what I initially did under here was dress it. So you've got a distributor which wouldn't fit, so I had to cut out the firewall. You have none of the doodads and goodies that come with this new K10, but you have this whole front, and they couldn't do it because where they put the servo. Well, I've already done the flipperoni, which was very easy. I just moved, let's get in there. I moved the servo forward, changed the geometry a little bit. So now I made my own hose, which is just some straight up windshield washer squirter rubber. So now I'd like to dress this up some more with the radiator and the fan and the pieces that go on the front here, water pump, all kinds of goodies that come on the front. You know, this comes completely silver. You can take it apart. I did the gold. But we'll get underneath the inside or the underside. But here's another thing. For the price you pay for this truck, the grill is all chrome. So, hey Dalton, that's what the that's what the grill is supposed to look like. You know, you do the black insert. I had to get that push bar. So that bumper, or that needs to come off so I can paint that stripe across the center. You know, I want to do the black. But now we'll get underneath. But let me just line this up for you here. And you'll notice this shackle sits down further than the other shackle. Now, incorrect axles, those are Toyota axles, but that is neither here nor there. Let's, you know, a lot of hand-me-downs. These are RC four-wheel drive wheels, but it's got some Proline flat irons. And you're going to see on this side, everybody's way too close. This side, it's leaf spring suspension. It's not going to hug in there as far, and it's going to barely clear before, well, it's going to rub a little bit. But I'm not going to care because now it has the travel it should have. The big claim to fame on this truck was, we're going to get back to the front, but it has dual shocks up front. Well, what I've done here is the front had the long travel shocks on it, 4 of them. The front had, or the rears had shorties. So no matter what you try to do back here, you can't because the shocks were so short. Let me see if I can push down. So the shocks that were on there were already like this. No, and you have that much travel. They were ridiculous, and it took a lot of me investigating. Now, the rust bucket has lift shackle or lift blocks in it. This truck didn't. But with, where is my piece? I've got this handy dandy, this is wood. It's balsa wood. But when you paint it, it becomes hard. So that is, I can't reach it. There we go. That is like that. So these springs had 3 leaves in them. So I took that small one out. But this is what I'm doing. I've done it to the back. I still have to do it to the front. So again, we'll swing it around. Now, let's get in there. See that? Those are dual shock mounts. Why you had dual long travel shocks on the front and short shocks on the rear, I don't understand. But look at this space here on the short ones. You know, oh crap. We're not going to be able to see the other one. Oh yeah, that just blows. So there's the travel on those shocks. I guess we'll just show it on the pieces. But as again, you see this side is way better lifted up and there's more travel. So that truck, you know, not super travel, but for a leaf sprung truck, not too shabby. You know, with the rear, you get better. That is, let me see. See if we can get 4 full fingers. Yep. That wheel's off the ground, but the front is still duals on the ground. And that is great. 4 or 5 fingers. We'll measure that in a second. Wait. What's 4 or 5 fingers? Oh, let's go to our handy dandy squares. And they're inch. So you got 1, 2, 3, probably 4 inches of travel. Not too bad. But here, so if any of you have got one of these sitting around, I would first take some springs out, take those dual shocks off. Because here's the difference. Why these are on the front and these are on the rear don't make any sense to me. Because if you look at any of the other TF2s, they generally have the long shocks in the rear. And I did the trick, so if none of you guys have ever taken one of those apart, that's what's in them. You've got springs and a little bit of oil. So you take those out. I actually put, because this truck is heavy, put some 50 weight in it. And this is in the fronts and the rears. Pretty good, pretty smooth. You know, they're not, there's the complete travel. They're very finicky. You cannot fill them even remotely near the top. But there's the difference in the shocks. Put them together. Because even with the shock position, well, I should have just pulled these wheels off. With that shock position, this is actually, if you look at the rear and you look at the front where the shock positions are it's a lot shorter up front. So the short ones give you good droop. I mean, there we go. Yeah, the back end's off the ground, but I believe this truck is going to perform a lot better. The electronics are LiPo compatible, so generally the problem with most of these trucks is the location of the battery. But, you know, this is a Cheyenne, the new trucks are Scottsdales. This should be a pretty good project as we move along. But let's go to my baby. You know, I've had this truck since, oh, one more thing. This chapped me. So let's lay this baby down. So you've got metal drive shafts on this Ultima. And look at the front. Look at all that room. So you've got flexing room for the shaft. Look at the back. Not a bit of movement room, that millimeter. So I'm probably going to cut some material off of that. I'm going to take this and we're going to trim this up a little bit because, man, that is sharp. But some other things to think about on this little guy and getting him out of the way, because this, if nobody has, if you haven't built one of these 85 4Runners bodies, if you are a 4Runner body lover or a Toyota lover, I mean, man, these are beautiful. And I tried, other than the little, it's a plastic piece on the original ones, other than painting that black, you know, this is actually a Hyundai Marmalade, which is funny because the one they have on the Rc4wd Drive website is similar to this color, and I never even looked at it. So I taped this baby off, did the texture, because I don't know why I painted it the same color originally, but that is such a nice setup. So I want to get the, I got the rubber mirrors. This is the second part of the build. I got the metal running boards. I had some, what are these? These 1.5s on it, which, man, these Goodyear Wranglers are nice tires. But these were the 155s when they first came out. Those Rc4wd Drive dirt grabbers are just a little bit bigger, a tiny bit bigger, but I think they look better. They stick out a bit, just makes it look tougher. It's got the Ultimates wheels on it. It's got the original Jolande 2 tires on it now, which I took it out and tested it. And man, it is smooth. I've had it so long. You know, the leaf springs are butter smooth. Those tires drag a little bit on the back, but it's just such a nice body. And there you've got the long shocks, the Toyota axles. It's, you know, it's been around. It was really boing, 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 boing when it had the springs in it, but now the springs are gone. Look at all that shock travel. Schwoink. This truck is just pure joy to drive. It is. I've got the light kit in it. You know, it's Alaska. You know I like doing my lights. Oh, something I also did. I did that back cover, and I also did my lower valance, which I don't know why I hadn't done that before. And you know, it's got the radiator in it, radiator cooler. You know, some extra lights. You know, just freshening this up. Look at those shocks, how so much travel. So much fun. So, thanks, Dalton, for getting me all fired up. And, I mean, this, I really shocked myself. This just came out. Just the wheels and tires, some new electronics. I love this truck. And, you know, for those of you who have never drove the leaf spring trucks, this, you just can't. If you're just usually driving, comparing the straight axles to the portal axles, there is nothing like driving a leaf sprung truck. So blow up the comments and let's talk about TF2s. You know, I really wish Facebook would let us put pictures of trucks so we could talk back and forth. And, you know, any questions on these two trucks, anything you may want to see about them, we can revisit that. So, once again, where's the eye candy? Yowie. Yowie, people want to see you all the time. Come here. Come here. Oh, I know. Oh, I know. Everyone, there's Audrey's even coming today. Give everyone loves the puppy. Where's Audrey? She's not a puppy anymore, but she's the director. The director's in the picture. There's my baby girl and the little baby boy. So, from all of us to all of you, we will talk to you later. Want to say something? Nothing?